Well,
The production was interesting because we were booted out of the studio and Alex Franklinos, who's the guy that engineered it, and the studio type chap, he told us to go away for a week and not come back, and kind of did it when we weren't there. Obviously anticipating that we'd be ecstatic with the results, and generally actually they're all right. So it's kind of as is, apart from a few bits that we chucked in as well. So he's played quite a big part in how it sounds.
Well,
especially on Certain Uncertain with lots of gated drums and stuff. That actually sounds pretty polished. I think we asked you to make my voice sound anything like normal. So.
Well, it's definitely a lot better than coming back and going, man, what the F did you do?
Yeah, but no, it worked out all right. I mean, I've known the guy that recorded it for 20 odd years, so I kind of got the boys down there and just seen the click. Really, we get on with him, and he knows what we're about. He loves what we do, and we sort of trust him, and it's paid off all right. He's a bit nuts though.
Yeah, well, no kidding, right? You kind of want to trust the guy.
Got a beard. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any hair like me and Barry, so he's in there, no hair club.
Well, that's the thing is right? You want to be able to trust the guy who's producing and engineering your music, because, I mean, if you don't, the end product be not what you want, or you're spending more money to fix the problem that was created out of what you didn't want to begin with.
Exactly. He was spot on with it, and we'd almost trust him with our lives. Well, maybe not that much. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
we trusted him to make a video, did we?
Yeah,
he's going to be making a video for us. So keep him peeled for that. It's going to be interesting.
Well,
that's all I'll say about that.
It's going to be concerned.
One thing I would like to do is, Ben, thank you so much for making that New Music Saturday intro. That was awesome. And obviously you can't hear it because the mic's off, but we chuckle every time we hear it because it sounds so good.
That's all right.
And that's become a good...
Were you done? He did a little music blurb. Oh, did you?
It's
awful. You're a gentleman.
No, it's pretty cool. It's a perfect way to finish up, because what I've done is I've strung together. I got to redo it because it's not as clean as I wanted, but I've strung together a lot of the people who've done promos for the show and strung them all together. And yours is the tail end, but it fits the end perfectly.
Excellent.
Because yours is the last thing you.
We'll see if we might be able to bang another one out for you.
That'd be cool. Absolutely.
A better quality one.
Yeah.
When we get a spare 5 minutes.
Oh no, there's absolutely no rush. I'm glad you put that one together so quickly. I mean, it was a last minute thought on my part, so I'm just glad you came through for it. But at the same time too, is like I completely understand, because I know you guys are super busy, so not an issue. But it's like I said, I just wanted to thank you for that before I forget, because I mean, it's a good staple, and people know it, and it's right before we start talking too, right? So it kind of good segue. Those guys are crazy. Oh hey, what's up? Welcome to Music Saturday.
I was just trying to figure out whether they're Mad Andersons because they're very angry, or whether they're just a little bit crazy. So that was,
It's actually
it's ambiguous.
Yeah, the last name is actually Anderson, and no one was called the Mad Anderson in high school. So it carried on and that became the band name. So, and not I think no one was mad because he's a very passive person. So.
All right.
But yeah, but either way,
he might be very angry about something.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've never heard him get super angry, and I know it's one of those things I kind of don't want to. So.
Still was.
But moving on, the title to the album, A Popularity Contest. I mean, I thought that was actually really smart, just because of the stigma that it brings to a lot of people, right? And just even stuff nowadays, it's all about who's got the most followers or that sort of thing. Some people, which is kind of sad, or they define themselves by their social media, which is pretty pathetic, but it happens, And but it was a smart title. I mean, with some of the songs, like I was trying to see this connection. I know there's not always, but yeah, I couldn't find one in any way, shape, or form. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, the overall theme of the album was really to I suppose it was about, I suppose, like you say, most people, you know, a lot of people that are glorified for just being famous and not having any talent for anything. And you kind of, on our travels, we've come across, you know, bands and things that are really good, and they're playing to like empty rooms and stuff. And, you know, if you look on social media and TV and stuff, you will see a lot of people that have no particular talent for anything, that have, you know, and getting large amounts of money and attention for doing very little. So it's almost like, really, that's not really what anyone should be aspiring to. They should just be, well, it's like you can do whatever you want, but
yeah,
we should maybe be aspiring to creating something. And it just seems like it's almost not fashionable to create stuff anymore, you know?
Yeah, no.
It's interesting. It's almost like there's people clamouring to appear, how can I put it, deep. You know what I mean?
Right.
When in fact they try so hard to appear deep that are you familiar with the word twee, Doctor?
I am not. No.
Okay. Well, basically it means sort of insipid and a bit safe and a bit boring, really. Because I think if you're trying to sound deep, you invariably end up sounding a bit, well, false. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you've got all these kind of intelligent, well-read kids making music now that aren't making music because they're being creative. They're making music because they're expressing what they perceive to be wrong with their lives. When in fact, most people's lives in that sort of wage bracket, if you like, are pretty good.
Right.
It's almost like they've got to find some kind of dark thing within themselves to come out with, and everyone goes along with it because it's deep.
Yeah.
You know, and it's supposed to be intelligent and sensitive, and actually most of it's complete tosh. I'm not going to swear today, Doctor.
Yeah. No, you did a good point. And the thing is, just touching on that is, it's for me that kind of relates to the same people that push their voice wants to get a point across, and I can tell every time, and it drives me nuts. Like,
well, it sounds like they're on the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of that thing of doing the vocal Olympics, and I think all these kind of talent shows are kind of encouraging that, aren't they now?
Yeah.
Whereas it's all about like one person at the front who's you know, got an image that they can sell, who can sing really well, but ultimately the product isn't very interesting because the songs aren't very good and they're not being written originally. They're kind of it's like committee music where, you know, a record label was, you know, basically decided what they're going to sing, you know. So I suppose that's the point we're making. But there are loads and loads of really good, interesting people creating stuff out there if you go out there and find it, and that's what we're sort of
exactly.
To,
it's all about looking, and in each week, I'm always finding stuff new, and most times the same reaction, like, why haven't these guys been heard yet? I'm glad to get a hold of music and talk to them, but these guys should be a lot further than they are right now. So I completely get that. And just to stop, it's just like it's almost in a sense where good actual like art, and I'm generalizing here, so music and everything, goes unrecognized. But do something stupid, stupidity is rewarded at the drop of a hat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So
all day long. Yeah.
Just before we get to our next song, we're gonna play Synth Gimp next, which is the first one you sent me off the album to play. And even though this has no relation to the song, every time I see the title or hear the title, I think of Pulp Fiction. Bring out the gimp.
I thought bring out the gimp.
Yeah.
Well, what it's actually about is basically, you get all these kind of 80s pop stars that kind of live off their charitable, how can I say it? They're being charitable, basically.
Their charity profile.
Yeah, basically, and 9 times out of 10, they're massive hypocrites. So that's
oh, yeah.
What they should probably do is they should probably just shut up and pay their taxes.
Yeah.
As opposed to make themselves look like saints. And you know what? There's some good work going on out there, but it doesn't have to be done by pop stars. It should be done by governments. But the governments won't do it unless you pay your taxes. So shut up, pay your taxes, guys.
Yeah. That's right. And real quick, speaking of the 80s, the 80s, some of the 80s stars have sunk real low. When you get a dog and you're looking at certain stuff for your dog, and there's a Bret Michaels line.
Oh, nice. Oh, what a quality item that is.
Yeah, I saw it as like, you gotta be kidding me. Bret Michaels, really? Like, buy poison, but I make dog clothes too. So
a Civ Gimp would be an 80s pop star, because I suppose there were an awful lot of synths in the 80s.
Yeah, and that and a lot of guitar.
We also play a lot of synths, but you know.
Yeah, but
I'm going to have it on record that I'm the only person that does not play any synth in this band whatsoever. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I don't need to plug stuff in and buttons and shit.
Right on. So let's get into Synth Gimp. This is Mr. Season. This is off of Popularity Contest, their new album.
Trite song will raise a comparative pittance, ignores Africans, and has a logo implying the virus struck the entire continent, patronising and perpetuating myths again. Band Aid should have learned its lessons and stayed silent. Perhaps less colourfully, what would be your response to that?
Complete violence.
just a hapless one-hit wonder and condescend to other cultures like rubbernecking singing vultures. You want to further your career now, be faintly smug and look sincere now, with no idea of what the deal is. You sell your mother for a cheese whiz. If you're a person from a far land and rockstars want to lend a big hand, don't worry if their music's quite bland. Just tell them what they need to understand. The money must go to the needy, not all on admin and the greedy, or any corporate kind of mass pimp, or to me you cause he's a Civ Gimp. They've really come to save the earth now, to ease the conscience of their rich pals. They took the world upon its axis. They never ever pay their taxes. They've come to offer you a portion. There'll be no feedback or distortion. You better watch out for Madonna.